Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we today?
Good morning. Quite well. It's early.
I say morning because it is morning for you, Matt.
That's right. It is. Happy New Year, Dan.
Yeah, look, I'm fine. It's not morning, but you can still wish me a good morning.
It is Lunar New Year.
It certainly is. Year of the Rat starting today. So, or the
What
mouse.
does the rat
if
do?
you want to say that, the same thing in China.
It's a sneaky, devious year, is it?
I think we're all going to get the plague. I think that's.
Oh yeah,
It does seem to be going that way.
Yeah, so far.
Does
So
it?
far, all signs point to the plague.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah, you heard of
Bubonic
coronavirus?
plague. Oh, nice. Oh yeah.
They shut down Shanghai Disney.
They shut down fucking.
I like how that's Luke's gauge for when
that's
the disease is
No,
bad.
but they shut
down
down. They shut down Hong Kong Disney yesterday too.
Fucking hell.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
They did. I mean, the virus apparently has made it to the US, and I was just in Texas, where it is. So
Yeah.
I think 4 people in Sydney have been diagnosed.
Oh
Okay.
fuck.
I think we have 4 in Singapore as well.
Jeez. It's not a competition,
So-
guys. Not competition.
Definitely out there.
It's the worst beer and not a very good virus.
I don't think it's the worst beer, but I'll give you that joke.
Worst. You're right. But I have literally no interest in drinking it.
I finally worked out what type of beer I like.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I like lager.
Yeah.
I knew it.
for
I knew
sure.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So do I.
I finally worked it out.
So do I. Yeah.
I like lager as well.
All your IPAs and stuff you can keep.
Yeah,
Just give me a
huge
lager,
here.
a pilsner. Yeah.
Everyone's drinking sours.
Ugh, no.
A lot of the craft beers are all IPAs and pale ales and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And that's why I don't like craft beer.
That's why I don't go in for it too, for sure. But I have to have some delicious craft lagers.
Oh man, yeah.
What I found out is normally the lager, in all the countries, there's like the working man's lager. Like Australia's got VB.
Yeah.
There's Tiger. There's and that's
Tiger's
the beer I like.
great.
I'm a man of the people.
I got Tiger in my
Sam
fridge right now.
Adams.
That's my go-to.
Sam
never had
Adams
Sam
Boston
Adams.
Lager, delicious. It's delicious.
It is, and if you're ever over there, I recommend going on the tour.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah. I gotta
costs
do that.
$2.
Never done it. I got to do it.
$2.
$2. It's $2, and they take you around. You get to taste the beer. You get a glass. It's so worth it.
Wow. Well, I mean, if a beer's $9, so
They just brought out jugs of the stuff.
Not here. It's not $9. So
yeah. Well, fair.
Sam Adams is probably about $5.
Okay, mate. I remember when beer used to be like $2 to $3 when we were young. Those were the days.
Yeah.
But no, remember, it works out about the same price though.
Yeah,
once you take
fair.
into account
How much
price
we earn now?
difference. Our dollar sucks at the moment. Just throwing that
your
out
dollar
there.
does suck. So does that mean
Yeah.
I should take all my Australian money and change it to Singapore money, or the other way around? I never understand how this shit works.
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know.
Because if the Australian dollar's
It's a
lower,
good question that this is not the forum for.
no.
No,
But if the
it's not that type of podcast.
But for all you people out there who are saying, isn't the answer obvious? It's not obvious.
No, not to
Because
us.
I can buy more Australian dollars now than I normally can. So should I just buy heaps of Australian dollars and wait for it to inflate? Or is it buying a currency that isn't very good?
I think it depends on how much you actually have. Because don't forget, there's the conversion. You have to pay to convert it.
Do you remember
So-
the first time we came to America? I think we were dollar for dollar with the US.
Yeah.
And
When I went with you, Matt, we were $1.04.
we lived like kings
It's great.
Yeah.
because it was like everything here is like if you just look at the price, everything here is cheaper than it is in Australia. And so for a dollar to be worth the same, it was like fucking hell. Like
Yeah.
I remember we went to a bar in New York to play board games. We were there like a long time. We didn't have a drink in our hand. We had lunch, and for the two of us, it was like I think $50 or something.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess it still would be. It's just that I don't. That's just how much things cost. So I'm used to it.
Well, no, that was $50 Australian.
Oh, sure. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like, I was, talking about how good, It's still, I don't understand. Prices over there still, they just need to have tax on them. Have you gotten used to that yet?
No.
Tax and
still
tips.
shits me off.
So you still have it's $19.99, you hand over a 20.
Yeah, I bought something the other day. It was, it was supposed to be $10, and I got up and then it was, 11 something. I was like, oh, fuck it. Yeah, that's right.
You need to know how much the government's taking off you.
Yeah.
Look, guys, the last couple of weeks, we've opened the show with a bit of dick news. So I had some dick news a couple of weeks ago. Luke had some dick news last week, and Matt, we've discussed it, and we think it's your turn to give us some dick news. So just go ahead.
What do you got for us?
Go ahead and play the dick news jingle.
Penis schlong, prick the segment's all about dick. It's dick news.
Okay, what do you got?
Dick news.
I mean, you've been on holidays, right? You didn't use your dick while you were on holidays?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, as far as I can tell.
You say there's something wrong with my dick?
I mean, no, I'm not the one getting a camera, inserted into mine.
There will be something wrong with it after they do that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've had no complaints about it.
Bruised from the inside. Do you normally get complaints about it?
Oh, I've had complaints in the past, yeah, But
fucking torn me in half.
I just forward them onto the relevant department and and go about my business. But dick news. Let's see. I mean,
it could be vagina news, Matt. I don't want to. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I've got to say, you've put me on the spot here, guys. Although I should have predicted this, I suppose, given the last two episodes.
I will have more dick news in 2 weeks' time after I go through the procedure. But
gives us a free week next week. So, listeners, if you've got dick news and you'd like us to share your dick news with the rest of the listeners, write in. We're podcast at multiplenerdgasm.com. They know .com. Everything's .com. I didn't say
it's never not .com.
Yeah.
We might be .org.
Oh, actually, yeah, he's got us there. It is.
We're an organisation.
They do have. We're
EDU
non-profit
education.
We're definitely non-profit, but not for the normal usage of that term.
Definitely not for profit.
No, spend a lot of money on this.
Something that we've discussed a long time ago, and actually, I think I wrote an article about this back when we used to write articles on the website. For listeners,
wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, for listeners who don't know, before there was a podcast, there was just multiplenerdgasm.com, and it was a WordPress blog where we wrote a bunch of shit. And some of those articles, might still be on there. I don't think so, though. I think maybe I archived them.
But that would be 7 years ago?
That would be 2011. No, before 2011, because we started the podcast when we got back from America in 2011. So I reckon 2010, and possibly even 2009, we started the website.
It's 2020 now.
Yeah. So maybe I'd say about 10 years.
Oh, God.
We've been doing this shit.
In some form.
Yeah. But what I'm talking about is the old debate about physical copies of shit that you own versus digital copies of shit that you don't own. And I, in the years since I wrote that article, have pretty heavily embraced the digital side of things. I don't buy a lot of physical media of any kind.
I went digital a few years ago myself.
Yeah. But recently, some stuff has come up for me, and also, for other people on the internet. I mean, I'm affected by one of these examples I'm about to give from this article, and also I've got an example of my own where it's just really apparent that you don't own this shit. Like these digital copies of games, you don't own them. They can take them away from you at any time, and they will. The Tetris company, who make Tetris, obviously, have signed a multi-year agreement with a developer, and so if you own the Tetris game on iOS that's been out since 2011, and I purchased it because I like Tetris, they're going to be removing that from your phone.
What?
Because the agreement with Electronic Arts is no longer valid, and so they're taking the game away. You can't have it anymore.
So it's not like, 'cause I know sometimes they'll do the thing where you can't buy it anymore, but you can still go into your history and download it.
Nope, this says it. Even if you've purchased it before, it's going away. And this is also, I mean, this happens. This is a little different, but when they upgrade like iOS and everything like that, and if a developer's abandoned the game, it just won't work anymore. That happens quite a lot. That pisses me off.
But it disappearing off your system is, I mean, that's the equivalent of you having Tetris on the Game Boy and them sending some goons around to your house.
Yes, and take the cartridge away.
The cartridge.
Yeah. And then the other example I had recently, this is a more convoluted, weird one, right? So, and stop me if I talked about this already, but Google, right? I'm
familiar with Google.
I've had a Google account for quite a long time. Actually, I have already told you guys about this off air a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, all our multiple Nerdgasm email and stuff is on Google, G Suite, and
so sweet.
They were sweet.
My Google account is Australian. Well, I've been using it. I used it in Australia. That's where I created it.
Oh, I'm Google.
There you going. And I've been trying to, for a little while, figure out how the fuck to change it to be a US one, because I can't buy stuff anymore. Because it gives me the US store, but I can't buy anything on there because all my payment stuff's Australian and none of that stuff's valid anymore. So anyway, I went through this whole stupid procedure with them, like on phone support and trying to get them to help me out. Because apparently you're supposed to be able to change the country. But I just did not have that option. And it came down to, just the other week, this lady from Google support telling me, you've got to delete. I had to delete my payment profile, my Australian one, and then it would allow me to create a US one. But when I did that, all my stuff disappears, and it's gone forever. And it was going to be gone forever. And I was like, oh wait,
there has to be a better option.
No, but she told me this so nonchalantly. She's like, all right, just delete the payment profile, and then it popped up and it said you will lose your Google Drive, you'll lose your Google Play movie and game Android app purchases, all this. I've spent quite a lot of money on there over the years.
Yeah.
It's all going to go away. And I said, it says it's going to go away. And she goes, oh, yeah, it will. And I'm like, well, you didn't think to mention that? What if I just clicked it without reading it?
But when I sign it up again, I get it all back, right?
Out of this call.
No, she said, if you read the terms and conditions, that's how it works. If you change country, it goes away. And I was like, and I said to her, I'm like, I want to complain about it, but I guess there's no point, is there? And she was like, no, not really. I'm like, okay. But then get this, right? I was like, well, fuck it. I don't have a choice, do I? If I'm ever going to use it, I have to change it, and it's better to do it now than just sit on it and make it even more painful in a few years. So I was like, all right. So I just did it, and then it just moved all my stuff over to a US account now. So after all that drama,
so it did actually work.
That's what I'm saying. But it just.
Are you sure you got everything? Because
no, I'm not, because it also I got an email that says, "Oh, it'll be deleted permanently in 30 days." So I guess I'm kind of in limbo now. But it just made me think, fuck all this digital stuff. This is shit.
Yeah,
this is shit.
We haven't had it yet, but there will be a day one of these big digital stores is going to go out of business, and everything's just going to go.
Well, actually,
it's scary.
Is it Microsoft shutting down some movie thing? I read that the other day. Some Microsoft movie things going away. And
what do you mean? I just paid something today for it.
I don't know if it's the Xbox one, but I don't know. I mean, this is happening all the time now. It just makes me think, I need to stop buying digital stuff. I need to buy a physical copy.
No, man. You got it wrong. Don't stop. You do stop buying the digital stuff, and you don't buy physical copies. You just get everything from the Pirate Bay. All right, that's I'm immune to all of this shit, guys.
But
no, Steve, what really needs to happen is, I don't know, there needs to be a way that you buy it. You can buy a license from a different thing, but then you have that license to use anywhere, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's never going to happen.
So, yeah, everyone needs to work together, and needs to be a whole world happy, and I can buy, Google will sell me the license, and that'll go to this person, that person, but I can use that anywhere.
Well, you can do that with Movies Anywhere, to be fair. If I buy a movie, and not all studios allow this, but if I buy Guardians of the Galaxy on Google or iTunes, it'll sync through this Movies Anywhere thing, which I'm pretty sure is owned by Disney. And I have that movie.
I mean, chances are.
yeah, statistically, odds are pretty good.
I mean, I know nothing about it, but chances are.
At some level, it's owned by Disney. I will own that movie on most platforms like Amazon. Not Microsoft anymore. Microsoft aren't part of it, but Google, iTunes.
But that's how it should
Voodoo.
work.
Yeah. Except it's convoluted, but it works. But it's pretty convoluted. Or if you buy a Blu-ray here, sometimes you can get one that comes with like a digital copy as well. But I don't know. This shit just annoys me.
Yeah, because I'm too lazy to put a disc in these days.
I've got all these old, say, like DS and Game Boy games that, like the next couple of generations of consoles would continue to play them. Whereas now I'm like, what's going to happen with these Switch games if, like, or even my Xbox? If, the new Xbox, I know they've said it's going to be backwards compatible, but what if they decide not to make it backwards compatible at some point? Just all my games go away.
Yeah, but how often do you go back to games from a previous console anyway?
Well, I'm actually doing that at the moment. I'm actually going out and I'm tracking down old copies of PC games for Windows Live.
Yeah.
So, like Fable 3, Bioshock 2, Dirt 2. So I'm trying to track down all these old games so I can try and get achievements on them. Some of them I've gotten to work. Others I have not, because the Xbox Live, the Games for Windows Live service, that stopped in 2013. So it actually depends on it during the install and load up process when it tries to contact the server.
All right.
So I've got some that don't try and contact it at all. But one tries to contact to verify before it even launches the game. And so because it can't reach it, it just goes, nah, not turning on.
Oh, that's
so
I
own the
protection
disc.
That wasn't there an Assassin's Creed game that had some copy protection, and then the servers they shut them down, and then the game just stopped working.
And so, like, I own a copy of it. I'm talking like I got a copy of Dead Rising 2, brand new sealed, and I cannot play it.
That's the thing, though, right? I don't think you do own it. I think, and even you know what? Maybe even owning a physical copy of this stuff isn't going to help. Because you don't own it.
Those goons will come to your house, man.
Well, no, even when you were buying physical copies, you're still just buying the license.
Yeah, they can just brick your machine if they like. No, you got to buy it again.
Fucking come and brick my VHS player from the 80s. Like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny too. I know we've talked about this before as well, but they talk about how like, it's because of piracy and stuff that they make all these convoluted systems, but. Like, take films, for example. Before DVD, you didn't have that revenue source. So you're not losing anything. Like, you've gained this massive source of revenue, and then like, you're like, the pirates are stealing it all. But you didn't even have it before. So, I don't know. It's just such a weird, stupid argument. Like, people weren't buying VHS tapes left, right, and center like they are DVDs or Blu-ray or digital now. So
I just still remember when, like in Australia, they used to go on about how we're the worst pirators and all this, and then they finally just released streaming services, and we could all stopped.
Well, except for Game of Thrones,
all stopped.
Everyone was pirating Game of Thrones because that wasn't available.
Yeah, the second you make everything available at a sensible price, people would just do that. You make it expensive and difficult.
Yeah,
life finds a way.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so now I've just this past week I've gotten pissed off about this whole digital thing again, and I don't know. I'm probably just going to keep going on as usual. It just made me think about it again.
Yeah,
the Google thing, and then this article.
You think about it, but then you remember how terrible it is to have to get up and change the disc every time you want to do something.
I've got one Switch game that's on a cartridge, and that's Breath of the Wild, and that just lives in the Switch. And then I buy the rest digital, and if I ever bought another Switch game that needed a cartridge, I wouldn't know. I'd be like, oh, fuck, now I've got to carry another cartridge with me as well.
Well, you can't buy Xbox games here in Singapore. Everyone just uses the digital store. So,
really?
I've had no choice but to just completely switch over.
I mean, I haven't bought a physical Xbox game in years.
Yeah, and I've got a bunch of them still in the drawer here, and I'm kind of almost annoyed that I do. You know what I mean? I'd rather everything just be digital. Or none of it?
Yeah. The convenience factor has certainly
So we really
rolled
screwed-
over my previous... the last time I got worried about this stuff, convenience basically just wiped it out. And I
Well, do you
stopped
remember
worrying.
when this first came out, it wasn't even games, it was fucking music, and we were like, there's no way I'm going to not buy CD albums anymore. Like, fuck that, man.
Yeah,
I don't want a bunch of CDs in my house.
Now I just have Spotify, and I'm like, fucking whatever.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it's very rare
Don't
you
buy
actually listen
anything.
to an album anymore.
I still do listen to albums, but, I mean, they're essentially free once you're a subscriber to Spotify.
Yeah. Yeah, now the money made by the people making the music is in the toilet. So,
Yeah.
wonderful. Has lowered the bar for entry, though, which in a kind of neat way. So, both for good and bad, but, you know, the good stuff.
Well, that's
a lot of the good
that's
stuff
with
still
every
floats to the top.
democracy, isn't it?
Yeah. So, good stuff still floats to the top if it's given a chance, which, yeah.
Well, I mean, you've got the choice anyway, right? I mean, Spotify knows me pretty well. I rarely have it play me a song that I don't like.
Yeah. Sometimes I get a weird recommendation. I'm like, what are you doing? Actually, I'll tell you what,
Chance.
the one that pisses me off, actually, Jenny gets more pissed off about this than I do. She gets really pissed off is when, because we have, I'm going to say the name and it's going to do something. We have Alexa. It's that. She woke up even on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
She probably knows when you're thinking about her. It's not even, you don't even have to say it. Sorry, it. Let's not call it a her.
Yeah. But you'll ask it to play a song, like a specific song, and it'll go, can't find that one. And I'm like, fuck off, you were just playing it. And then even we did an experiment where you manually put a song on, and then you just say, hey, play this song, the one that's already playing. And it's like, it's not familiar with that song, sorry. It's like, fuck you.
Maybe she just doesn't like that one.
Like, she says exactly the song, like the artist and the song name. Oh, that doesn't exist, mate. Just doesn't exist. Like, you're playing it right now, you silly bitch.
Have you asked her what the song is playing?
Yeah, and she'll say, yeah, it's exactly what you just said and what I just repeated back to you. But there's just some disconnect
But
there.
don't know it.
I do find that with things that are voice activated, and I don't have a smart home, but I do have, a TV that I can use voice commands on. But I have to put on an American accent if I want anything to actually happen.
They are getting better, but man, they really used to hate my accent.
Yeah. Alexa, can you understand my accent?
I do my best to understand everything I can. I'm always learning.
Always listening as well, huh?
Is that what she said?
No. She said, could you not hear her? No.
Of course, Matthew, I am always listening to you.
Always learning is what she said, but I know what she meant.
Yeah. Constantly learning.
She said it in a robot voice, but it is just a woman in Ohio working for Amazon. So, I mean, speaking of streaming services and whatnot, we've some news this week about the creators, the showrunners of Game of Thrones. That's these guys?
Yeah. So, I mean, we discussed Benioff and Weiss a few weeks ago because they had a Star Wars trilogy that they no longer have. And, we all suspected that the reason was because, they made a shit final season of Game of Thrones and so they got fired. And apparently that's the case. But the official story was that they left the Star Wars project because they were going to focus on their Netflix project. But that's gone now.
So now they're going to go back to Star Wars because that's the only reason they quit.
Sucks to be them.
Yeah,
man, you can be on top, can't you, in Hollywood, and then just on the bottom.
Yeah.
I will say, given the I guess controversy about the last season of Game of Thrones, and then if you read the synopsis for this show that they were going to make,
you mean their show about wouldn't it be great if the South had won the Civil War and we could still have slaves today? You mean that premise?
I'm like, well, yeah, I guess I'm almost morbidly interested to see what that would end up like.
What actors of color would agree to be in this?
But isn't this just sort of like another version like Man in the High Castle?
Maybe.
Well, yes, it was sort of. I suppose.
Yeah, just another alternate history type of thing.
Yeah, but in Man in the High Castle, it's also kind of science fiction, and they know they're not in the real world, and they're trying to get back to the real world. Whereas in this, it's just like, you know, it'd be great. We all still had slaves. I don't know. Maybe there was more to it than that.
Also, I think this whole it's supposed to be called Confederate, and this whole thing is much more. Well, I guess Nazis are a hot button issue too, but this is
difficult to market.
Here in the US. Yeah, here in the US, this is a very
you
touchy
couldn't
subject.
put up a poster for it.
It's too close to home, I think.
Yeah.
For the
well,
US,
you're not going to get it. So
no, like
it's not happening. They're not going to make it. So there you go.
I mean, we're somewhat distanced as Australians from this, but it's a very big. You know, it's still a raw nerve here, obviously for obvious reasons. So
well, as it should be in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But I guess we won't get to see what this fantastic idea is gonna.
No, you won't. You know what else we might not get to see though is we might not get the Obi-Wan series that they constantly promise us is coming.
Well, yeah, evidently with this, they were getting ready to start filming and then just sent everyone home.
Yeah, well, everyone said that his hair was getting much more Obi-Wan-like. Beard was growing in nicely.
They said indefinitely as well. Although I did see someone asked Ewan McGregor about it, and he said at first no, there's nothing, no problems. They just want to spend a bit more time on it. And then he followed up and said, I think what I'm paraphrasing, was that they just they looked at the scripts and they're like, let's spend a bit more time on it. And I think it's probably just because of Rise of Skywalker. Because there's been some negative feedback just on the whole sequel trilogy, I think. So they're probably just trying to be a bit careful.
Are they doing it that way, or are they careful about like how it was very different to The Mandalorian? They want to make it more like that, or?
Well, I guess we don't really know. That's the thing with this. None of this Disney stuff. You don't really know.
No.
Like I said, the example I always give is we didn't know someone else directed half of Rogue One until that director came out a few years later and said, "Oh yeah, I reshot most of that movie." And then everyone's like, "The fuck?"
I still just think this Obi-Wan. I think there are so many people who want it. I don't think it's going to go well. I think it's one of these things that everyone wants, but they will just bitch and complain about and put down and say it's crap.
Yeah, I don't think I want it, really. If you came to me and said, here, out of all the Star Wars content you could have, do you want an Obi-Wan series? I would say no.
No.
I do not want an Obi-Wan series. I can think of 10 things I would want more than that off the top of my head right now.
Let's just get away from those characters. We don't need them anymore.
One thing I am interested in.
Play around in the universe.
Yeah, well, and there's been talk of doing more varied things. One thing I'm interested in, and it seems like they're doing something, is the Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
Because I think that was an interesting world. Again, that's a pre-existing thing, so that's sort of still cheating in a way. Like, come up with some new shit. But
well, weren't they looking to do sort of a different time, like not like the game era? They're doing
there's an article this week because there's been some buzz about their. There's been rumors that they're doing a reboot or remake of Knights of the Old Republic, and
which I would love to see because that game, while great, has not aged well.
I got it on my iPad. Actually, it's still a lot of fun. It's a great game. The second one actually I liked even more, but there was it got rushed.
I enjoyed
and there's
it.
some stuff about it that wasn't great, but. They're talking about this as the rumor is that this is not a remake as such. This is a reimagining, and it's a combination of Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2. It's going to smush them together into a new game that brings some Knights of the Old Republic stuff into the current Star Wars canon. Which I'm like, why do they want to do that?
Knights of the Old Republic was still considered canon.
No. Well, I mean, you kind of just. Anything that didn't exist before Disney, you have to assume is not. I mean,
but didn't they pick and choose?
Matters,
I mean,
anyway.
No, but
I think
No, I think they just drew a line. They said it's just the movies right now, and anything
just the movies and the cartoon
and the cartoon series.
But not even the Clone Wars. I don't think Clone Wars is not.
No, Clone Wars is canon. They just released a new season.
I believe Clone Wars. Everything that happened in Clone Wars, you should consider canon.
All right.
Yep, that's canon.
And also, I mean, this Knights of the Republic stuff, it's all rumors, but I thought that was interesting. You know, like if they were going to do Knights of the Republic, that's an interesting way to do it. Release a new game. I mean, you could still do something original if you wanted to, I guess, but smushing together two good games might work. I don't know.
It could work.
Look, I never played this the first time around, so I'd actually be interested.
They were really good games.
Yeah, I feel like
I would say go back and play them now, but they really haven't aged well, and I don't think.
See, I say
not having that nostalgia factor.
I feel like you could. I feel like maybe, but then maybe I have, you know.
No, I think because you got that.
I've got so many new games that I don't have time to play.
Yeah.
Stop putting stuff on my plate.
Fair enough.
Speaking of which, Matt, did you finish Blade Runner?
No, not yet, no.
Okay.
No, because I was away and then, I've been busy since I got back, but...
Too busy generating dick news.
Dick news I can't even talk about.
Yeah. I haven't played many games this week, to be honest. It's been a busy week. I did pop Far Cry 5 on again the other day, and I thought, fuck it, and I bought the season pass as well. So...
cool.
A veritable fuck ton of additional material.
It's got the Mars DLC and all that shit.
The Mars one looks really good, but the one that I'm most excited about playing is the Vietnam one.
And I think I probably have that. I just haven't played it. I should check that out too.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the Mars one gets pretty
Yeah, I started it and then I finished. Just the tone is so different. I finished 5 and then I started the Mars DLC and I was like, oh, this is very different.
Right.
Yeah.
So I left it for a bit, but
did you play the sequel, Matt?
You mean New Dawn? Is that the one you mean?
Yeah.
I started it and I liked it. Yeah, it's good as well.
That was a really good game.
I didn't play through it. I played a bit of it and I enjoyed it. So I should go back to it.
And then you got distracted.
Yeah, too many games. Well, I did finish a game. I just remembered. Because we had a bunch of flights to back to Austin and back. I had my 3DS with me because I was like, you know what, I'm bringing that. And
get some street passes.
I finally finished Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies.
Objection.
Which is those games are so good. I just can't. Like as in, I got addicted to it again almost instantly. I started playing it and I was like, oh, I fucking forgot how good these are. So
that's
ridiculous.
Right. I need to go back because it came out on the Xbox last year. I haven't finished playing it, but God, it's ridiculous.
Really? You're going to sit there on your couch playing that on your Xbox?
Yep. No, but it's so much fun, Dan. It's like, it's so ridiculous. But yeah, Dual Destinies, the plot is just so fucking stupid. I can't even explain it. But it's just so much fun. And just the way that, I just assume that's how law works in Japan, which is both terrifying and hilarious.
We know, Matt.
You can't prove him innocent.
Yeah,
even though the judge knows they're innocent.
Yeah, the judge is like, well, I think you've certainly proven that that this gentleman didn't commit the crime, but unless you can find out who did, I am going to have to find him guilty anyway. So,
I mean, it's
someone's going to jail.
That's kind of how the law works anyway in America. I watched the documentary series on Netflix this week called The Innocent Man, and that was pretty much the premise too.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Well, in Dual Destinies, the prosecutor that you mainly go up against is a convicted murderer who they've allowed to study law in prison, and he prosecutes criminals chained up to the bench.
No,
yeah, it's such a funny.
I remember, what a great plot point that is.
They actually explained that there's a legal system in the game that it's like people
the dark age of
these
the
long
law,
trials.
Yeah.
So all trials have to be completed with like 3 days of the murder and.
They call it the dark age of the law. Seriously, they're so fun. I don't know how to explain why. It's just so silly. But and they can just present evidence at any time. Like And then like they'll be like, oh, by the way, here's the murder weapon.
During the
like halfway through the trial, yeah, they're like, oh, here's the murder weapon. I was like, oh fuck, they had the murder weapon the whole time. Those bastards. Hilarious.
Look, I haven't been playing a lot of games, but I've been doing a lot of reading recently. Yeah, and I've been reading a lot of an author that I really loved when I was younger, and that's Edgar Rice Burroughs, right? And I love his prose, and his imagination is exceptional. But it's really tough reading his books in 2020 because he's a little bit racist.
Sure.
And
I'm guessing that comes out in his books.
yeah, it does, really does. I mean, I don't. I only know his racism through his books. You know what I mean? Like, for all I know, he was
never met him, but
yeah. But so I mean, the two that I reread in the last year, Tarzan of the Apes is one of his arguably most famous, and The Princess of Mars, right? Which I just read, the first of the John Carter books, right? Tarzan it's so racist in such an overt way because he meets other people, they're just black, and he still considers himself never having met another person. Right?
Oh, sure.
Until he meets white people. And it's just tough to read that when they're so overt like that. John Carter of Mars is about a guy who's a Confederate soldier who ends up on Mars and then basically
Confederate
just
soldier. I think that's a detail I didn't know.
No,
go on.
I missed that when I was a kid.
Gloss over that in the movie as well.
Yeah,
probably did. They don't gloss over it in the books, that's for sure.
Right.
He doesn't specifically. I mean, he talks about fighting the North. Mostly, he talks about fighting the Indians,
right?
The savages. I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah.
But then when he gets to Mars, he basically starts talking like the Martians in the same hierarchical way that he describes the Native Americans during the early parts of the books before he's left the Earth.
Sure.
And it's just tough to read. It's just it's an allegory, and it's like stop trying to make me racist.
Because I wonder, people have been talking a lot about. I mean, a lot of older authors have that issue at varying levels, just because it was. I mean, it was normal, I guess. I'm not saying it was good. I'm saying it was just.
Unfortunately,
normal.
that was the normal for the time.
Yeah, that's right. And in fact, even to the point where it was the law.
Yeah, and like H.P. Lovecraft gets rightly questioned on quite a number of things. I mean, I don't even notice. People have pointed out things that I'm like, oh, right, yeah, I get it. I mean, there's some fairly blatant racial stuff in H.P. Lovecraft, but there are others where it's like, I guess because I've read them, I'm so used to them that I never thought about it that way, you know?
Yeah, well, that's right. And the other thing about H.P. Lovecraft is that he is even more prolific in his correspondence than he ever was in his published works. Like, there's thousands and thousands of letters that he wrote that are still available to be read, and he does not hold back.
Right. Well, I've restricted myself to his fiction, I guess. So, although I mean that doesn't entirely limit your access to. Well, there's a black cat with a name that I will not repeat.
No,
I'm gonna read you a little 7-line poem written by Mr. Lovecraft, and I'm going to omit the word as it comes up, including in the title, on the creation of N-words. You want to hear this?
All right, I guess.
When long ago the gods created earth, in Jove's fair image man was shaped at birth. The beasts of lesser parts were next designed, yet they too were remote from humankind. To fill the gap and join the rest to man, the Olympian host conceived a clever plan. A beast they wrought in semi-human figure, filled it with vice, and called that thing, and I'll just trail off there.
Oh my God.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Not familiar with that piece of work. Jesus.
Now, that is one of his early works. He wrote that in 1912. Most of his weird fiction and the Cthulhu mythos came in the 20s and early 30s.
Fuck me.
But he wrote that poem. One day, he was inspired to write a poem about that.
I don't even know what to say to that. Now
No. I know what that cat's called.
You have confronted me,
and,
sir.
And even that, yeah, that's right.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, this is the age-old question. Does that mean his other work that is not horribly racist is bad also? Is At the Mountains of Madness now bad? Because also he was a racist shit? Yeah.
Mind you, there's no racism in At the Mountains of Madness.
I don't think there is, but maybe there is.
I would argue that you're still
it.
allowed to read it, but that you're also allowed to think he was a bit of a prick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I certainly do now.
Yeah. It's like how I can watch Chinatown and think Roman Polanski's really good at making Chinatown, but really bad at sodomizing underage girls.
Yeah. No, well, I think he's good at that too. That's the problem.
I think he's bad for doing it.
He's good at both.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really criticize his performance. Christ.
Yeah. Rosemary's Baby, good. Around a Baby, not good.
Oh.
Speaking of babies, how much do you think Baby Yoda costs?
Far too much, and someone may have ripped them off.
Fuck you.
So it came out that he's worth $5 million, and I call bullshit.
He's worth $5 million. I love the way that
he's not a Muppet, is he? Like he's a animatronic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but where's the $5 million in it?
I love the way this came out too. The way this has been revealed is so there's spoilers for the final episode, or some minor spoilers for the final episode of The Mandalorian. There's a sequence where two scout troopers have Baby Yoda because they've grabbed him.
And they do something very bad.
Yeah.
Whoa. We're not Roman Polanski bad, but like,
whoa.
They
give him quaaludes and then sodomize him in a swimming pool.
You just want to see what he looks like. So they've got Baby
sodomizing him in Jack Nicholson's pool.
And there's a sequence where one of them, he says, "Oh, it hasn't moved in a while," and he punches it. And then, so when they're shooting the scene, he punched Baby Yoda, and then they called cut. And Jon Favreau, who was like apparently up in his office, came down from the office and said, "I just need to let you know that this is the hero Baby Yoda, and it costs $5 million. So while I do want you to hit it, I want you to know that."
So
because he really did take a big swing at it.
Yes.
So if anyone's familiar with the great and short-lived sitcom Happy Endings, this is Max from that, the gay guy.
I'm not familiar with it.
You should watch it. It's got Damon Wayans Jr. in it.
Okay.
I mean, it is a sitcom, right?
Yeah.
About like young people living in a loft and having relationships. But as that genre of TV goes, this is quite a good one.
Well, I did like his performance as Scout Trooper who punches Baby Yoda. So
yes,
that's a good scene.
I still want to. How is it $5 million?
Well,
because his ears have got a wiggle and stuff, right?
Yeah, and his eyes move, and he drinks.
But then again, don't they do CGI to it as well?
Yes.
No, well, apparently not. Remember, because Werner Herzog said, "You fucking cowards! Shows a puppet.
But I thought
shows a puppet."
I thought it was a combination of both.
Yeah, I thought it was because they had the puppet and they told him it was going to be better once you see it on screen because they were going to add stuff to it, and he was like, "No, I don't think they went fucking. We have to."
He told them they were cowards.
Yeah, I can't let Werner Herzog call me a coward.
Yeah, but yeah, you're probably right. I mean, everything's digitally touched in these things. So
yeah, touched it with my digits.
But yeah, even with the mechanical parts, it's someone saw Disney coming. I went, they've got a big checkbook.
There's some
I'm
Mickey
going to
Mouse
see how much I
walking
can
the
get
door.
out of this.
Yeah. Yeah, they saw,
Here it comes.
They saw fucking Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau walked in wearing mouse ears, getting out of a limousine, and the guy's chuck up the price.
Yeah, puppet? Who's this for? Right.
Yeah, we'll just add 3 extra zeros on.
I've got to say, though, whatever they make puppets out of now, is massively better than what they used to make puppets out of. Like when
yeah.
I watch some of the movies from 30 years ago, even ones that I love, like, what the fuck are they making them out of? Like
latex.
like skin just doesn't look like skin back in the day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And even like I watch a lot of horror movies, right? And like you'll see someone, like you'll see a severed head and it's literally paper mache.
Yeah. Yeah, some are better than others.
Like they didn't have rubber back then. They didn't have translucent rubber with subsurface scattering.
Well, if you listen to what's his name, Rick Baker was on Rogan, and that was fascinating.
I haven't heard that one. Yeah.
Oh, it's really good. He's such a sweet guy, and it's just very very humble guy, and he just he did like the American Werewolf in London transformation, which kind of put him on the map, and just him talking about all that stuff. There was like
Michael
there was
Jackson
no
as well.
Yeah, Thriller. Yeah. Yeah, he actually talked about that quite a bit. It's quite funny. Because, they rushed him. And so it was, when he looked at it afterwards, he was like, oh, he looks at it and he goes, oh, God. Because it's not. But everyone else thinks it's great.
It's hideous.
but they had there were no schools for makeup effects. There were no manuals. There were no books or anything like that. Well, not really. And so they just made it all up. Him and, what's the Dawn of the Dead?
Stan Winston.
No, Stan Winston as well. Yeah, but no, I'm thinking of God, what's his name? He did all Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead.
Savini.
Tom Savini. Yeah. All those guys, like they just made it up. So now I guess it's advanced to the point where you get Baby Yoda.
There's a method for it. Yeah.
But I want to see. So Luke, you're calling bullshit on the price. How much do you reckon you could make a Baby Yoda for? Give us a quote.
Did you want it to move?
You know what?
Like,
doesn't even have to move.
Stuff move?
Doesn't even have to move. Just got to look like Baby Yoda.
Just look like Baby Yoda? Look, I do want to make a bit of profit. This is going to take a bit of my time. I'll go, so $10,000.
$10,000.
I mean, to me, that's still quite an expensive puppet.
Yeah, I'm still ripping you guys off.
Yeah, I mean, I've not paid $10,000 for a puppet before, but
yeah. I mean, it is less than a violin. So
no, that's right. Yeah,
made by my ancestors, but
there's no behind the scenes stuff available, is there, of The Mandalorian that features what Baby Yoda looks like on set?
Not yet, I don't think. There was
one photo of George and Baby Yoda.
Oh, yeah, I like that photo. I love that he ditched fucking episode 9 completely, but he's on set snuggling Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I thought that was fake when I first saw it, I must admit.
The photo, yeah.
Yeah.
There was an article the other day and a video that I didn't watch. I saw it in the feed and I meant to go back to it. You just reminded me about how on set for The Mandalorian they used a lot of that previs stuff on set, like the and actually in the Director and the Jedi, the Last Jedi documentary, they showed that as well, where they can previs the whole scene, all the special effects, on the monitors when they're shooting and stuff, which is pretty fucking amazing.
Oh wow!
So you can see So I think this was showing on the set of
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian
With a tennis ball,
right? So you can see the ship, for example, because they'll just project it up onto a screen or something, and so you kind of have more than that Terrence Stamp story about when he thought he was going to be working with Natalie Portman, and then it was just a post-it note with her face drawn on it.
Yeah,
it's a little different to that.
Funnily enough, that's also the sexual experience that Luke has had with Natalie.
With Natalie Portman. Asked her on a date, she said no, so he took a post-it note.
Yeah.
Listeners, if you want to help us raise $10,000 so Luke can build a photorealistic Baby Yoda, head to patreon.com/multiple nerdgasm. You don't have to give us $10,000 yourself, but
no,
you could.
If you'll chip in.
Certainly not saying you can't or shouldn't.
But for as little as $1 an episode, you can help support this show, and we love our patrons. They're fucking a bunch of really cool people, and they get to hang out in the after party for $10 a month. And the after party is a sexy place where we get to talk about the same shit we talk about in the main show, but more of it.
Yeah. Just as a little tease, tonight in the after party, I've got a story about furries.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, there you go. And yeah, $5 a month gets you the show early, and also, I mean, we the patrons get extra odds and ends from time to time too. So
they get hugs from me.
Wink,
that's true.
Winkety
Yeah.
wink.
I mean,
wink,
you hug everybody.
That's true. He does.
But yeah,
That won't feel special.
and if you want to support the show in a more free manner, you can head to iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you're listening to this right now, or iHeartRadio. We confirmed that we're on recently. Head over there, give us a 5-star review.
Get us some of that sweet iHeartRadio.
Yeah, get us on that the fucking podcast of the year. We've never made the cut.
We'll push for a campaign 2020.
Yeah, get us on that.
So that's
get us on that list.
That's a kitty of $24,000 that we're trying to raise now. It's $10,000 so Luke can make a puppet.
If someone donates $15,000, I'll make a puppet for us and a puppet for them.
Well, hold on.
I'll do a deal. No, $15,000 for two.
Sure. Okay. Buy one, get one half price. But Matt needs $14,000 for his
the violin.
Granddaddy's violin as well.
Yeah.
Right? And then let's just say I also get $10,000 for miscellaneous. Okay.
Yeah, he's not going to say what it is, but it will create new dick news in the future.
Yeah, I think I'm not legally required to say what it is ever. So
Patreon.com/multiplenerdgasm, and then head over to Facebook.com/multiplenerdgasm, mnerdgasm on Twitter, Multiple Nerdgasm on Instagram. Give us a follow and get in touch with us. Let us know what you like or don't like about the show. Or don't let us know what you don't like.
We know what you don't like.
Yeah, that's just going to upset us.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
We do hear more about what people don't want than they do want, generally speaking.
That's true.
That's true. Less Star Wars. Stop talking about Star Wars.
It's not going to happen.
Sorry,
No.
Craig.
Sorry.
We've tried.
There
It
was
doesn't
no
work.
Star Wars news this week, and we still talked about Star Wars.
Yeah, it always creeps in there.
Look, while we're talking about puppets and stuff, I've read this story about Steven Spielberg a few weeks ago that I've meant to bring up that I find quite hilarious, right? So there's an actor called Harry Hamlin. You'd kind of maybe recognize his face. I can't.
He's one of those guys who's been in things, but
Oh, I know
He's just
him, yeah.
in stuff since like the 70s up until the 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
But evidently he auditioned for a role, or for the role, in Raiders of the Lost Ark of Indiana Jones. He was one of the ones who auditioned. And it was, it was hot property. Everyone was auditioning for it. But he went in for his audition and he got paired up with Stephanie Zimbalist, who, if you don't know who she is, she's the girl from Remington Steele.
Oh, okay.
The old TV show with Pierce Brosnan that helped him get Bond and then prevented him from doing it and made him get Timothy Dalton instead. But so they were sitting there in the waiting room waiting for Steven Spielberg to come out and give their audition, and he was running late. And then eventually an orderly or an aide or someone came out and said, "Hey, listen, Steven is running a lot late right now. He's running very late. I'm just going to pop you guys into the kitchen. What might be really fun is if you baked him a chocolate cake for when he got here." And they were like,
What?
They were like, "Okay, all right."
Yeah.
So they went to the kitchen. They begrudgingly started making a chocolate cake. And while they were doing it, this guy, Harry Hamlin, started mouthing off about Steven Spielberg. He's never met him, but he started saying, I've got a friend called Amy. She lives in New York. And this guy, Spielberg, is fucking stalking her. He just won't leave her alone. Now, fucking Amy Irving and Steven Spielberg got married a couple of years later. And at a certain point, the aide came in and said, "Okay, you can go. You guys didn't get the part." And apparently that was their audition, and that they were being secretly filmed and recorded and watched by Spielberg. And this is evidently how he conducted his auditions, which was people not knowing they were in an audition and seeing if they had on-screen chemistry with their potential co-stars.
which sounds silly, but when you hear that part of it, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, how do these two go together?
Yeah. And, when making a cake, I guess Harrison Ford and Karen Allen made a great cake and were a great team. Or,
Yeah.
who was it going to be? Tom Selleck and Sean Young? You know, they obviously made a pretty good cake as well.
I feel like if I went to audition for a film and they were like, all right, well, just pop in here and make a cake, I'd be like, well, something's going on.
Yeah,
Like-
this might be. I might do my best at this.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best to make a good cake, and I probably won't
Yeah.
bitch about fucking Steven Spielberg while I'm in here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I feel like you
needless to
should have
say-
picked up on something.
Yeah. Or that even if you weren't going to make a good cake, just maybe don't bitch about the director while you're
Yeah.
just while you're
Because
in the
it's a
building.
little suspicious.
Yeah.
The whole scenario is a little suspicious. It might be good if you made
it's
him a
not
chocolate
suspicious.
cake.
Even if you're
What?
not in the kitchen, why would you
Yeah.
sit in the waiting room and bitch about Steven Spielberg?
Yeah.
yeah, that's a weird thing to do.
Needless to
I've
say,
noticed-
Harry Hamlin has never starred in a Steven Spielberg movie.
I do know him. I know him. He was Perseus in Clash of the Titans.
Ah, sure.
And he's also he's in Veronica Mars. And I'm not going to say any more about that because if you haven't seen Veronica Mars, it's a mystery. And so if I say too much, he's someone one of the parents in Veronica Mars. That's all I'm gonna
Okay.
say. That's
Are
where
we
I know him
not
from.
giving spoilers for 20-year-old shows now?
Oh, fine. He was the murderer in the first season. I realized by even refusing to say anything, I'm giving it away. Yeah,
You've said
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. Because
I
like,
can
why
kind of see
why
him
won't
as
you say?
Indiana Jones, actually.
Yeah. No, you can't. Dan.
I mean, no.
No. Remember Harrison Ford said, when he's gone, that's it.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
dead.
not now.
When I'm dead, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he has control over it.
If
I
I,
guess
was
he
Harrison
might.
Ford, I would just put a little bit of money aside and I would hire a crew for 1 week and I would film one scene from each of the movies I've been in where that character dies. So, you should do one scene from Indiana Jones where he goes to swing across a ledge and misses and falls to his death. And then, regarding Henry where he gets shot again in another robbery, but this time he doesn't survive.
Yeah,
It'd be awesome. But the thing is,
Witness, the barn falls on him.
Henry, I'm sorry. The bullet that you were shot with was infected with AIDS,
Oh, God.
so even though you did recover, you will slowly die.
Oh, my God.
thing is, I don't think Harrison Ford actually cares,
No,
at all, about
See,
anything.
I thought he didn't either, and then I saw a picture of him wearing that T-shirt that says, I'm Han Solo and Indiana Jones and Blade Runner, and I was like, touche, Mr. Ford.
man,
Touche.
Harrison Ford. I think we may have talked about this before, but I think he doesn't get enough credit for being as funny and. People say that he's kind of prickly, and I don't think he is. I think he just likes fucking with people because he's very funny. Well, I'm sure it's draining being, boohoo celebrities, but I'm sure it's like I wouldn't want to talk about the same shit for 50 years.
We've only been doing it for 10 years.
No, but I mean, if every day someone came up and asked you the same questions, you'd be like, oh, fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what was it like being Han Solo? Oh, yeah, it was great.
But
Yeah.
I think it's also because you get the people who come up with those, they don't see you as a person, they see you as the character
Yeah.
as well.
Although, do you remember that? Did you watch the Captains? That the Star Trek documentary where William Shatner's talking about how he fucking hated Star Trek fans because they just disturbed him because they thought he was Captain Kirk and he didn't like it.
Yeah.
He would feel
Yeah.
awkward and embarrassed, and then that would come out in a way where people thought he was rude, and so he just hated going to conventions because it was just too.
Because
awkward
the
for him.
people aren't asking, they're asking things about the show, like you said this in this episode, but then in this one you said this, how does that work? And it's,
Yeah, and he's just
It's
like,
a show.
"Oh, fuck, I don't know, mate." But then
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart's talking to him, and then he says, "Yeah, but isn't it beautiful that you've created this thing that people love so much, and you can kind of connect with all these people?" And then he has this moment where he's like, "Oh my God, you're right." And then he went on to embrace all that stuff even more. I just thought that was really cool.
Speaking of Patrick Stewart, though, I just watched the first episode of Picard.
I was
Did
going to
you?
ask if either of you guys had seen this.
No, I really want to.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I'm liking it.
Yeah? Okay, that's good.
Yeah. It's. Did either of you watch Discovery?
No,
No,
not
no.
all the way.
Well,
a
this
big
is
focus of it.
Discovery was also like they start to go down that more serious path.
Yeah.
So it's not the sort of camp as the Next Generation and the Voyager and things like that. It is.
Sure.
It's the only way I know how to describe
Yeah,
Next
yeah.
Generation.
No, I get
But
you.
it's actually serious. I've only watched the first episode, and yeah, it's off to a good start.
All right.
Mm.
Well,
So I don't know where you
Stewart.
can watch it. I watch it on Amazon Prime in Australia.
I think it might be on Prime here. I'll have to check. I did see a banner for it the other day when I was watching something. So yeah, I really want to check it out. Does he say make it so in the first
Not
episode?
yet.
Ah, damn it.
I reckon something will happen in the last
out for it.
episode of the first series, and he'll have to bust it out.
What do you mean? I reckon once he's on a ship,
Engage.
he'll say it.
Yeah. Number
Does he
2.
get engaged?
Engage.
To Data.
I will make it so.
He's in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
he's
they're
back
all
for
in it.
as well.
Jonathan
pretty-
Frakes is in it. They're all in it. Yeah. It's good for them.
It's sort of a bit weird watching
The lines at the conventions for him are going to be longer again. It's good for him.
the guy who plays Data. What's his name? I think someone Spider.
Brent Spiner.
Yep.
He's a fucking nice
'Cause
guy, by the way.
He's a really nice guy, but
Yeah.
he's also playing an android that has aged
Oh, sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
and gotten a little chubbier.
Oh,
Aw. He's one of
I've
those.
got-
I think all of those
So
next gen
fine.
guys are really nice. Actually, they're the kind of
Yeah.
like the cons that like he in particular. He brings his chair around the front of the table and he
Yep.
he spends time with everybody. Like they're really. I like those guys.
yeah.
Good people.
But yeah,
Seems like. So I'm glad they're getting some more work.
yeah, because you don't really see them in much.
Yeah.
except for Will Wheaton.
Well, even that, you don't really see him in much.
No, he's gone very quiet because of
Yeah,
what
he has
happened.
gone very quiet. Yeah.
Why has he gone quiet?
So he got caught up. Well, he had a big legal dispute with Geek and Sundry, which obviously has him disappeared from all their stuff, apart from the older videos. But
Yeah, it was about one of the shows he was a producer on or something, and about he was meant to
Yeah.
get cut from that or something like that. I
something
remember.
like that. But he got caught up in this whole thing, and like I mean, I don't know what his intentions were with this, but he, on Twitter, a lot of people use, or the celebrities use these block list things so they can block trolls, and he was using one that apparently was like linked to some transphobic thing or something like that. Anyway, he ended up blocking a bunch of trans people, and so people got really annoyed with him about it, and he, I guess just being his personality, didn't handle it very well. And basically said, fuck off, like mind your own business. I didn't mean to, it was an accident. He just didn't deal with it very well. And so he left Twitter and went to some some other platform that's like Twitter, and then got into some argument with people there, and then left that as well. And so, as far as I know, he's just left the internet for now because because of the thing
Don't
with
try and
Hardwick.
argue with the internet.
People were harassing him about Chris Hardwick as well. You know, that whole thing happened with Hardwick and Chloe Dijkstra, and then people were asking him to comment on it, and he just I think he was just like, you know what, I'm out. So he's kind of disappeared. Probably for the best.
Well, he needs a break.
I think his personality is doesn't do well when people are pushing him on stuff like that. So yeah, he too quick to react. Anyway, I mean, allegedly on all this stuff, I don't want to get sued by Will Wheaton. This is just what I saw.
What you
But he's-
saw,
and I
you're an
saw.
eyewitness.
Well, I saw it on Twitter, is what I'm saying. And I read articles that said Will Wheaton's a prick. And I was like, is he? And then I looked into it. I'm like, I don't know if he is. I think he just didn't deal with the whole situation very well.
No,
I really
I'm going to
don't.
edit that so it just starts with you going, Will Wheaton's a prick.
It's just chop the whole thing down.
And now
What
Matt
will
can
Wheaton
edit
do?
it. You
Will Wheaton's
say-
a prick. No, I don't know if I like Will Wheaton. I don't, honestly, I feel like I'd have to meet him because I see
I know what you
he's
mean.
one of those people that I'm like, I don't know, man. You might annoy me. I'm not sure.
I at first resisted, and then I kind of bought into his charm a little bit. You know,
I resisted Will Wheaton as best I could.
yeah. But he held me down, and he is very strong. No, okay. Again, before we get sued, I'm not saying that Will Wheaton committed sexual assault against me. I'm not saying that.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.